Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the challenges of everyday life? Struggling to keep your mind clear and focused in a world full of distractions and stress? What if there was a way to build mental strength and resilience? A way to find inner peace no matter what life throws your way? What if the secrets to a stronger, more balanced mind had already been passed down for centuries? Imagine being able to face each day with calmness, confidence, and clarity, no matter what obstacles come your way. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, this isn't just a dream. It's something achievable through the wisdom of Buddhism. Buddhism offers ancient, yet timeless, secrets that can help you develop mental strength, emotional resilience, and true peace of mind. Welcome to this journey where we will uncover 6 Buddhist secrets that will help you unlock your true mental strength. In this video, you'll discover practical wisdom that can transform your life and help you become more mentally strong than ever before. So, if you've been looking for tools to improve your focus, reduce stress, and gain a deeper sense of peace, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, I have a quick request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers actually subscribe. So please, take a moment to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. It really helps support us and allows us to bring more valuable content your way. And hey, don't forget to drop down your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Now, let's begin by exploring how the wisdom of Buddhism can help you unlock mental strength and transform your life. Ready? Let's go. The power of mindfulness, training your awareness. Do you ever find yourself on autopilot, going through the motions of your day without really being present? Maybe you're brushing your teeth, but your mind is already racing ahead to the next task. Or you're having a conversation, but you're not truly listening. Your thoughts are elsewhere. This happens to everyone. But what if you could break free from this cycle and truly experience the present moment? Wouldn't that be life-changing? The first secret to mental strength, according to Buddhism, is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of paying full attention to the present moment, without judgment and without distraction. It's about being aware of what's happening right now, whether it's your breath, the sounds around you, or even the thoughts running through your head. The key to mindfulness is to slow down and observe everything that happens within and around you. When you practice mindfulness, you train your mind to be more present and less consumed by worries, regrets, or distractions. This helps reduce stress and creates space for peace and clarity. And this isn't just about meditation. Mindfulness can be practiced throughout your entire day. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves thinking about the past or the future? We worry about things that haven't even happened yet or dwell on things that are long gone. But the truth is, the present moment is all we really have. By focusing on what's happening right now, we stop wasting energy on things outside our control, and we start living more fully. This is where the power of mindfulness truly lies. Let's take a simple example. Picture yourself sitting at a cafe, sipping your coffee. If you're mindful, you'll notice the warmth of the cup, the aroma of the coffee, and the feeling of your body relaxing as you take a moment to enjoy it. Your mind is fully engaged in this experience. But if you're distracted, your mind might drift to thoughts of your work, your family, or what you'll do later. You're still physically there, but your mind is somewhere else. When you practice mindfulness, even in moments like this, you are training yourself to be present and aware. Mindfulness also teaches us that we don't need to escape from life's challenges. We can face them with a calm and clear mind. Let's say you're facing a difficult situation at work or at home. Mindfulness helps you stop reacting with frustration or stress. Instead, you step back for a moment, take a deep breath, and observe what's really going on. This helps you to respond with clarity, rather than just reacting out of emotion. It gives you the power to choose how you engage with life's challenges. The beauty of mindfulness is that it's available to everyone. You don't need any special equipment, and you don't have to travel to a temple to practice. You can start right where you are, in your own life. Just take a moment, right now, to pause and be fully present. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, and the thoughts in your mind. Take a deep breath and appreciate the present moment for what it is. Mindfulness is about training your awareness, and like any skill, it takes practice. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. It becomes a part of your life. When you make mindfulness a daily practice, you begin to notice things you never paid attention to before. You might notice the beauty in a simple walk through the park, the taste of food you usually rush through, or the kindness of a stranger. This is the gift mindfulness offers. It connects you to life in a way that feels truly fulfilling. One powerful benefit of mindfulness is how it helps you manage your emotions. When you're mindful, you become more aware of your feelings and thoughts. Instead of getting swept up in anger, sadness, or fear, you notice them as they arise. You observe them without judgment or reaction, and you create space between the emotion and your response. This helps you choose how you react, rather than being controlled by your emotions. This is the ultimate freedom. You don't have to let your emotions dictate your actions. You can remain grounded and calm, even in the most intense situations. Another thing that mindfulness teaches us is that we are not our thoughts. It's easy to think that the thoughts that come into our minds are who we are. But mindfulness shows us that thoughts are simply passing events in the mind. They come and go, like clouds in the sky. You don't have to hold on to every thought. You don't have to believe everything that crosses your mind. With mindfulness, you create space to step back from your thoughts and see them for what they are, just thoughts. This shift in perspective can be incredibly freeing. The power of mindfulness also extends to your relationships. When you're present with others, you are truly listening, really understanding, and giving them your full attention. This can transform your relationships because people feel heard and valued. Imagine how different your conversations would be if you weren't distracted by your phone or your thoughts. This quality of presence creates a deeper connection, not just with others, but with yourself as well. One of the most important things mindfulness teaches us is compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of your own struggles, your own suffering, and your own needs. This awareness allows you to show yourself more kindness and understanding. Instead of judging yourself harshly for mistakes or shortcomings, you approach yourself with compassion. And when you practice mindfulness with others, you become more attuned to their needs, more patient, and more empathetic. This creates a stronger sense of connection and a more peaceful and supportive environment for everyone. Mindfulness, however, is not about forcing yourself to be perfect. It's about showing up with kindness, patience, and presence, even when life isn't perfect. You don't need to meditate for hours every day or be constantly focused. The goal is to integrate mindfulness into your daily life. It's about taking small moments throughout your day to come back to the present. Whether it's a few deep breaths while waiting in line or being fully present during a meal, every little moment counts. As you begin to practice mindfulness, you'll notice a shift. The world will begin to feel different. You'll experience more peace, more clarity, and more joy in even the simplest moments. You'll become less reactive, less overwhelmed, and more grounded in your own strength. This is the power of mindfulness. It's not about escaping life, but embracing it fully. It's about being present, not only in the peaceful moments, but in the challenging ones as well. So, take a deep breath and step into the present moment. See how it feels to just be, without rushing ahead to the next task or dwelling on the past. This is the first step toward becoming mentally strong and resilient, by simply being mindful and aware of what is happening right here, right now. And with every breath, you strengthen your ability to face the world with clarity, calm, and confidence. By practicing mindfulness every day, you are training your mind to be stronger, clearer, and more focused. You are becoming the master of your own thoughts, not the other way around. Mindfulness helps you embrace life exactly as it is, without needing to change or fix anything. And in this space, you'll find true mental strength, impermanence, embracing change without fear. Have you ever stopped to think about how everything around you changes? From the seasons shifting, to the people in your life coming and going, to the smallest moments in your day unfolding and disappearing. Change is the only constant. But how often do we resist it? How often do we fear the unknown, the changes that seem beyond our control? We try so hard to hold on to things, to keep everything exactly the same, but no matter how hard we try, change keeps moving forward, and sometimes it feels overwhelming, doesn't it? What if I told you that change isn't something to fear, but rather something to embrace? The Buddhist concept of impermanence, or anicca, teaches us that everything in life is constantly changing, and this is the nature of reality. Nothing stays the same forever, neither the good times nor the bad. It's all part of the cycle of life, and it's this very impermanence that can actually bring us peace, if we understand it properly. Think about a storm. When it starts, it might feel like it's never going to end. The wind howls, the rain pours down, and everything feels out of control. But what happens eventually? The storm passes, the clouds clear, and the sun comes out again. The storm's power is in its temporary nature. Similarly, the ups and downs of our lives, our struggles, our frustrations, our fears, they're all temporary. They come and go, like the waves in the ocean. When we understand impermanence, we realize that everything we experience, whether it's joy or sadness, success or failure, is part of a cycle. Nothing lasts forever. That doesn't mean we stop caring or stop investing in the things we love. It simply means we stop clinging to them so tightly. When we grasp too hard, we create suffering. If we learn to let go, to accept the natural flow of life, we open ourselves to peace. Let me give you a simple example to understand this. Imagine you're holding a hot cup of coffee. At first, it feels great. The warmth is comforting. But after a while, the coffee starts cooling down. If you try to hold on to the warmth by clutching the cup tightly, your hand starts to hurt, doesn't it? The warmth slips away, and no matter how hard you hold on, it won't stay the same. The key is to enjoy the warmth while it lasts, but also to accept when it fades. This is exactly how we should approach life. Enjoy the good times, but don't fear when they change. Embrace the flow of life, knowing that new things are always coming. Why is this so important for mental strength? Well, when we resist change, we create a lot of internal tension. We try to control things that are beyond our control, and this is exhausting. The more we try to control, the more frustrated we become. But when we accept that everything is changing all the time, we start to find freedom. We stop clinging, and we stop fearing loss. This doesn't mean we don't care or we don't try our best. It simply means that we don't allow ourselves to be crushed by the weight of expecting everything to stay the same. Buddhism teaches us that the key to dealing with impermanence is mindfulness. By being fully present in each moment, we can appreciate things as they are, without needing to hold on to them forever. Mindfulness helps us to witness the flow of life without attaching ourselves to any particular outcome. This means we can experience joy without needing to hold on to it, and we can experience pain without fearing that it will never end. Think about your thoughts for a moment. Have you ever had a thought that felt like it would never go away? Maybe it was worry, fear, or doubt. It seemed to linger, and you couldn't shake it. But eventually that thought passed, didn't it? This is the nature of impermanence. Thoughts come and go. Emotions come and go. Even the most intense feelings will fade, just like a storm passes. When we understand that everything is temporary, we stop identifying so strongly with our thoughts and emotions. We start to see them as temporary visitors, not permanent parts of who we are. This understanding brings immense mental freedom. Instead of being overwhelmed by our thoughts or emotions, we can simply observe them and let them pass. We no longer need to fear the storm, because we know it will pass. This practice of accepting impermanence also helps us become more compassionate. When we understand that suffering is temporary, we can approach others with kindness, knowing that they, too, are going through their own temporary struggles. We don't need to judge or try to fix everything. We can simply be present for each other, offering support in the moment, without holding on to expectations or outcomes. Another important aspect of impermanence is the recognition that everything is interconnected. Our actions, thoughts, and words ripple out into the world, and even though we can't predict the exact outcome of everything, we can still make choices that align with our values. The changes we experience in our lives are often the result of our own actions, and by choosing to act with kindness, compassion, and wisdom, we can create positive changes that ripple out and touch the lives of others. So, how do we start embracing impermanence in our own lives? First, we begin by letting go of the need to control everything. Understand that life is always changing, and that's okay. The more we resist, the more we suffer. The key is to become like a tree in the wind, strong yet flexible. We bend with the breeze, but we don't break. Next, we practice mindfulness. Be present in each moment, appreciating what you have right now, without worrying about the future or clinging to the past. Live fully in each experience, and let go when it's time to move on. Finally, remember that impermanence is not something to fear. It's the flow of life, and by accepting it, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Instead of focusing on what's fading, we focus on what's right in front of us. Every moment is an opportunity to experience life more fully, knowing that whatever comes, it will eventually pass. By embracing impermanence, we develop the mental strength to face any challenge with calmness and clarity. We no longer fear change, because we know that it's part of life's natural rhythm. And in doing so, we find peace, freedom, and the ability to live with a deep sense of inner strength. Letting go of attachments, the key to inner peace. Have you ever noticed how much we hold on to things, people, or ideas that no longer serve us? In life, it can feel like we're constantly grabbing onto something. Whether it's material possessions, past relationships, or even our own expectations. But what if I told you that true mental strength comes from the ability to let go? That's right. The secret to finding peace and inner calm lies in learning how to detach and release. Buddhism teaches us that attachment is one of the main sources of suffering in life. When we hold on tightly to things, whether it's the hope of achieving a certain outcome or the desire to keep something or someone close, we create unnecessary stress. Why? Because everything in this world is temporary. People, experiences, even material things. Everything changes and eventually fades away. The more we cling to them, the more we set ourselves up for pain when they inevitably change or disappear. This is where the concept of attachment comes into play, and understanding it is a key part of developing mental strength. Imagine for a moment that you are holding a glass of water. The longer you hold on to it, the heavier it becomes, right? But what if you just let it go? Suddenly, the weight is gone. It's the same with our emotions, expectations, and possessions. The more we hold on to them, the more they weigh us down. The more we let go, the lighter and freer we become. But letting go isn't about giving up on life or becoming indifferent. It's about releasing our tight grip on things that no longer help us grow or bring us peace. It's about understanding that we don't need to control everything around us to be happy. In fact, true happiness comes from accepting things as they are, without the constant need to change or possess them. This is the essence of detachment, and it's something that can free us from suffering. To understand this more deeply, let's take a closer look at the Buddhist teaching of anatta, or the concept of no self. Anatta tells us that the self is not a fixed, unchanging entity. We are not defined by our possessions, our relationships, or even our thoughts. We are constantly evolving. When we cling to our ideas of who we are, our identity, our possessions, or our past, we create an illusion of permanence. But life is about change. Everything flows and transforms. When we learn to embrace change instead of fighting it, we find true freedom. The Buddha teaches that attachment is like a burning fire. The more we cling to things, the more fuel we add to the flames, making the fire bigger and more intense. But if we let go, the fire burns out. Letting go isn't about forcing yourself to stop caring. It's about realizing that holding on too tightly only causes pain. Letting go is about freeing yourself from the fear of loss. Because when you understand that everything is temporary, you can begin to find peace in the present moment. Think about the last time you tried to control something or someone. How did it make you feel? Chances are, it added stress to your life. You may have become anxious, frustrated, or even angry when things didn't go your way. The truth is, the more we try to control, the more we struggle against the natural flow of life. But when we let go, we allow ourselves to experience life as it is, without the need for constant struggle. Now, I'm not saying that you should give up on your dreams or stop caring about the things you love. But Buddhism encourages us to cultivate detachment, a healthy separation from the things we desire, so that we can enjoy them without becoming overly attached. For example, think about how you feel when you buy something new. It's exciting at first, but over time, the excitement fades. The same goes for relationships or achievements. We often attach our happiness to these things, believing that they will give us lasting joy. But true joy comes from within, from the peace we find in our own hearts. not from external things. It's important to recognize that detachment doesn't mean we don't care about others or the world around us. In fact, detachment allows us to love more deeply and give more freely because we are no longer dependent on others or things to make us feel complete. It allows us to act with kindness and compassion without the burden of expectation. When we let go of attachment, we free ourselves from the need for validation and control, and instead, we can approach life with an open heart. Think of the most peaceful people you know. Are they constantly trying to hold on to everything around them? Or do they seem to let things flow naturally? It's likely the latter. The more we hold on to, the more we fear losing it. But the more we let go, the more we discover that we are whole and complete just as we are. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop clinging to the illusion that we need to control everything in order to be happy. So, how can you begin to let go of attachment in your own life? The first step is awareness. Notice when you are holding on too tightly, whether it's to a belief, an outcome, or even a person. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Why am I afraid? Often, we find that the fear is based on our attachment to a specific idea of how things should be. Once you identify that attachment, you can start to loosen your grip and allow things to unfold naturally. Another way to practice detachment is through meditation. Meditation helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. It allows us to see that our thoughts and feelings are not who we are. They come and go, but our true nature remains unchanged. When we meditate, we train ourselves to let go of the constant chatter in our minds and find peace in the present moment. Finally, remember that letting go is a practice. It's not something you can perfect overnight, but every small step you take towards detachment brings you closer to inner peace. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this process. The more you practice, the more you will experience the freedom and clarity that comes from releasing what no longer serves you. So, what can you start letting go of today? Is there something or someone you're holding on to too tightly? By practicing detachment, you'll free yourself from the weight of unnecessary attachments and discover the true power of mental strength. When you let go, you create space for peace, joy, and growth to enter your life. And that's where true strength comes from, not from holding on, but from letting go. The art of self-discipline, mastering your thoughts and actions. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to control your mind, especially when it comes to staying focused, calm, and disciplined? Every day, we face distractions, urges, and impulses that seem to pull us in every direction. From checking our phones to losing ourselves in negative thinking, it's easy to let our minds wander away from what truly matters. But what if you could learn to master your thoughts and actions, just like a Zen master? Self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools you can use to build a strong mind. It's not about forcing yourself to follow rigid rules, but about learning to guide your mind with awareness, intention, and patience. When you have self-discipline, you are in control of your actions, not the other way around. You can make choices that align with your values, goals, and well-being, instead of being swayed by every fleeting desire or distraction that comes your way. The Buddhist path teaches us that self-discipline is essential for a peaceful mind. In Buddhism, this is not about restricting or punishing yourself. It's about understanding and mastering your desires, emotions, and behaviors. It's about living with intention, creating habits that support your growth, and letting go of actions that hold you back. This is the art of self-discipline. Now, let's break down how self-discipline works in Buddhism and how you can use it in your everyday life to build a mentally strong and peaceful mind. The first step is understanding the role of mindfulness in self-discipline. Mindfulness is the practice of paying full attention to the present moment without judgment or distraction. It's about observing your thoughts, emotions, and actions as they arise and learning to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Imagine this. You're sitting at home, and you've just come from a long, exhausting day. Your mind is restless, filled with worries about the future and regrets about the past. You feel the urge to scroll through social media or grab a snack to soothe your discomfort. This is where mindfulness comes in. Instead of automatically reaching for your phone or food, you take a moment to notice your feelings. You acknowledge your tiredness or anxiety without judgment. Then, with mindfulness, you choose to respond to those feelings in a way that aligns with your values. Maybe you decide to meditate for a few minutes, take a walk, or simply rest. You're not letting your impulses control you. You're making a conscious choice to act in a way that nourishes your mind and body. This is the first key to self-discipline, awareness. By practicing mindfulness, you gain the ability to recognize your thoughts and emotions before they take control. When you can see your urges for what they are, temporary and passing, you gain the power to make choices based on what truly serves you, instead of being ruled by them. But awareness alone isn't enough. The next step is commitment. Self-discipline requires you to commit to a certain course of action, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. In Buddhism, this commitment is often tied to the concept of the middle way. The middle way means finding balance, avoiding extremes, and cultivating a lifestyle that is sustainable, not based on overindulgence or strict self-denial. For example, when it comes to eating, you don't need to completely deprive yourself of the foods you love, but you also don't want to overeat or consume things that harm your body. The middle way teaches you to eat in moderation, choosing nourishing foods that support your health and well-being. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're neither overindulging nor denying yourself. This balance is key to building self-discipline in every area of your life. Another aspect of self-discipline is patience. This is a virtue that is deeply woven into Buddhist teachings. When you begin a practice like meditation, for example, it's easy to get frustrated when your mind keeps wandering or when you don't see immediate results. But Buddhism teaches that patience is an essential part of growth. Like a tree that slowly grows tall over time, your mental discipline will develop gradually. It's not about rushing the process. It's about trusting in your ability to improve with consistent effort and patience. But how can you apply this in your daily life? Let's say you're trying to build a habit of meditation. At first, your mind might feel restless, and you might be tempted to quit. But with patience, you continue to sit and breathe, reminding yourself that mental discipline takes time to develop. Over time, you'll notice that your ability to focus improves. You'll start to feel more centered and at peace, even when life around you is chaotic. This is the power of patience and consistency in building mental strength. Self-discipline also involves letting go of distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, entertainment, work pressure. All of these things can pull your attention away from what matters most. Buddhism teaches that attachment to distractions only weakens the mind. When you let go of the need to constantly chase external pleasures or validation, you free yourself to focus on what brings true happiness and peace. You no longer let distractions dictate your actions. Instead, you choose to focus on what truly nurtures your mental well-being. Here's an example. Have you ever found yourself mindlessly scrolling through your phone for hours, even though you know it's not helping you feel better? Buddhism teaches that these distractions, while momentarily soothing, don't offer lasting peace. By practicing self-discipline, you can recognize when you're slipping into these habits and gently pull yourself back into the present moment. Maybe you choose to turn off your phone, read a book, or engage in a mindful activity like walking or breathing exercises. This small act of discipline can help you regain focus and find deeper satisfaction in the present moment. As you continue to build your self-discipline, you'll notice another benefit: increased mental clarity. When you make intentional choices, free from distractions and impulses, your mind becomes clearer. You're no longer clouded by confusion, restlessness, or constant desire. Instead, you can think clearly, make better decisions, and stay calm under pressure. This mental clarity is like a clear pond, calm, peaceful, and free from the ripples of constant distractions. The final key to mastering self-discipline is self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you slip up or fail to meet your goals. But Buddhism teaches us to approach ourselves with kindness and understanding. Self-discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, you acknowledge it with compassion and gently get back on track. This approach creates a positive cycle where each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. In conclusion, the art of self-discipline in Buddhism is about cultivating a mind that is strong, focused, and at peace. By practicing mindfulness, committing to balanced choices, being patient with yourself, letting go of distractions, and showing yourself compassion, you can build mental strength that will serve you for a lifetime. The path of self-discipline may not always be easy, But with each step, you'll find yourself growing stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. So, are you ready to take control of your mind and actions? The power is in your hands. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools you can use to unlock your full potential and create a life of peace, focus, and strength. The practice of compassion, strength through kindness. What if I told you that one of the strongest sources of mental power comes not from being tough, but from being kind? It may seem strange at first. After all, we often associate mental strength with being hard, unyielding, or even ruthless. But in the world of Buddhism, the true source of inner power lies in compassion, the ability to care deeply for others and offer kindness without expecting anything in return. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see someone struggling with their groceries. You don't know them, they aren't asking for help, but something inside you moves. Without thinking, you step forward and offer to help carry the bags. That simple act, small as it may seem, can have a huge impact, not just on the person you're helping, but on your own mental state as well. You might wonder, how does being kind make me stronger? The answer is simple. Compassion connects us to the world and others in ways that nothing else can. It's a practice that goes beyond just being nice. It's about understanding, caring, and sharing a piece of yourself with someone else, especially when they need it most. When we help others, even in small ways, we're building our own emotional strength and resilience, bit by bit. Buddhism teaches that compassion is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But it's not just about giving to others. It's also about giving to yourself. How often do we forget to show ourselves the same kindness that we show to others? We're our own harshest critics, aren't we? But learning to be compassionate with ourselves is just as important as being kind to others. The kindness we offer ourselves helps us heal, grow, and become mentally resilient. When we practice compassion, we create a deep sense of connection, not just to others, but to our own hearts. It helps us understand our emotions more clearly and develop an emotional strength that can face any challenge. And here's the amazing part. As we become more compassionate, we begin to feel less fear, less anger, and less anxiety. Why? Because compassion dissolves the walls that fear and negativity create. It opens up our hearts and allows us to flow with life, instead of resisting it. You might be thinking, I'm already a kind person. How can I go deeper? That's a great question. Compassion is not just about being nice or doing good things for others. It's about a mindset, a perspective on life. It's about seeing the world through the eyes of understanding. Imagine looking at someone who's angry or upset, and instead of getting angry back, you try to understand their pain. You see their struggle, and your heart responds with compassion. This shift in perspective changes everything. It transforms the way you approach relationships, challenges, and even your own emotions. One of the most powerful aspects of compassion is that it's not limited by circumstances. Whether you're helping a friend, a stranger, or simply practicing self-compassion during tough times, this kindness doesn't have to come from a perfect or ideal situation. Compassion is available to us at any moment, in any situation. It's a mindset we can choose to embody, no matter what's happening around us. And here's something powerful about practicing compassion. It doesn't drain you. It actually replenishes you. By helping others, we don't empty our emotional reserves. Instead, we fill them. The more you practice kindness and empathy, the more it enriches your own mind, creating a cycle of strength and positivity. Every act of compassion, no matter how small, sends ripples of goodwill into the world, creating a positive energy that returns to you. The more you give, the more you receive, sometimes in unexpected ways. Think about this for a moment. How often do you see someone and think, I wish I could help them, but then do nothing? We all feel that inner desire to help others, but often we hesitate or think we're too busy, or maybe we feel that our help won't make a difference. But the truth is, no act of kindness is ever wasted. Even a smile, a kind word, or a small gesture can brighten someone's day, and in turn, it brightens your own heart. Let's take a step further and think about how compassion affects our relationship with suffering. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life. We all experience it in different forms, whether it's through personal loss, stress, or even just the struggles of daily living. But what if we could change our relationship with suffering? Instead of seeing it as something to avoid or resist, what if we could approach it with compassion, both for ourselves and others? When we meet suffering with compassion, we don't try to escape it or deny it. Instead, we embrace it with understanding and love. This doesn't mean we stop trying to improve our lives or eliminate suffering, but it means we stop fighting it so much. We become open to learning from our struggles, seeing them as opportunities for growth, not obstacles to our happiness. Compassion, in this way, helps us navigate the hardest parts of life with more grace and wisdom. It's also important to understand that compassion doesn't mean we have to sacrifice our own well-being for others. There's a common misconception that being compassionate means being a doormat, always putting others before yourself. But true compassion involves balance. It's about caring for others without losing sight of your own needs and boundaries. In fact, when you take care of yourself, when you nurture your own mind and heart, you are better able to give compassion to others in a sustainable way. So, how do we practice compassion in our daily lives? It starts with small, intentional acts. It can be as simple as listening deeply when someone speaks, offering a helping hand when you see someone in need, or even taking a moment to be kind to yourself when you make a mistake. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And over time, you will find that compassion becomes a part of who you are. It becomes your strength, a wellspring that never runs dry, even in the face of difficulties. Remember, the key to mental strength is not in being hard or detached. It's in allowing yourself to feel deeply and care for others with an open heart. When you do this, you not only grow in strength but in wisdom, patience, and love. Compassion is a force that can transform your life and make you truly unshakable in the face of whatever comes your way. In the end, the strength we seek doesn't come from a place of harshness or self-reliance alone. It comes from the deep well of compassion that flows within all of us. And the more we draw from this well, the stronger we become, not just in our minds, but in our hearts as well. The more we give, the more we receive. And that's the kind of strength that can truly withstand anything life brings. So, next time you feel overwhelmed or lost, remember this. The key to mental strength lies in your ability to show compassion, to care deeply for others, and to let that care flow back to yourself. It's a practice, a way of being, and it has the power to transform your entire world. Detachment from suffering, overcoming negative emotions. Life is filled with ups and downs, and with those ups and downs come a wide range of emotions. Some emotions make us feel happy, alive, and fulfilled. But there are also negative emotions, anger, frustration, fear, and sadness, that can drag us down, cloud our minds, and prevent us from living our best lives. What if I told you that Buddhism offers a way to detach from those negative emotions, to rise above them, and to find peace even in the most challenging situations? Yes, it's possible. In Buddhism, we learn that suffering is a natural part of life. We experience suffering because we cling to things we cannot control, our desires, our expectations, and our attachments to certain outcomes. When things don't go the way we want, we suffer. But the key here isn't avoiding suffering altogether. It's learning how to deal with it in a way that doesn't overwhelm us. One of the most important teachings in Buddhism is the concept of detachment. This doesn't mean that we should stop caring about anything or anyone. No, detachment in Buddhism means freeing ourselves from the grip of negative emotions that arise when things don't go as we expect. It's about letting go of the mental and emotional attachments that keep us trapped in cycles of pain, frustration, and regret. So, how can you practice detachment from suffering? The first step is recognizing that suffering is a part of life. It's something we all go through. We cannot avoid it, but we can choose how we respond to it. Instead of clinging to negative emotions or letting them control us, we can choose to face them with calmness and awareness. When we feel anger rising within us, instead of reacting immediately, we can pause and observe that anger. We can ask ourselves, what is this anger trying to teach me? Why do I feel this way? By creating space between the emotion and our response, we allow ourselves to detach from the suffering it brings. Let's consider a simple example. Imagine you've had a tough day at work. Your boss is upset with you, and you're feeling frustrated and stressed out. You get home, and your mind is still racing with those negative feelings. But instead of letting those emotions take over, you pause and take a deep breath. You remind yourself, this moment will pass. This frustration is temporary. By recognizing that this feeling won't last forever, you can begin to let it go. Buddhism teaches that attachment to emotions is what causes suffering. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or sadness, we let those emotions define us. But if we practice detachment, we can let these emotions come and go without allowing them to shape our entire experience. This is where true mental strength lies, the ability to acknowledge our emotions without being consumed by them. One of the powerful practices in Buddhism is mindfulness. By staying present in the moment, we become more aware of our emotions as they arise. Instead of getting swept up in them, we observe them from a place of awareness. You can do this by practicing mindfulness meditation, where you sit quietly and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When negative emotions arise, you simply notice them, accept them, and let them go. It's like watching clouds pass by in the sky. You don't hold on to the clouds, you just let them drift away. Another important Buddhist teaching is the idea of impermanence. Everything in life, including our emotions, is temporary. The joy we feel today will not last forever, but neither will the sadness, fear, or anger that may arise. When we understand that emotions are impermanent, we can let go of our attachment to them. The moment you start to accept that emotions, good and bad, will come and go, you begin to experience a sense of freedom. You're no longer chained to your emotions. Instead, you're able to witness them without getting lost in them. There's a story in Buddhism that illustrates this beautifully. A young monk once came to his teacher, deeply upset. He had been wronged by someone and was filled with anger. The teacher told him, "When you hold on to a hot coal, who gets burned?" The young monk replied, "I do." The teacher smiled and said, "Exactly. Holding on to your anger is like holding on to a hot coal. It burns you, not the other person." This story teaches us that negative emotions like anger, resentment, and hatred only harm us. When we choose to hold on to them, we are the ones who suffer. This practice of detachment also involves letting go of expectations. Many times, our suffering comes from having expectations that things should go a certain way. When those expectations are met, we feel disappointed, angry, or frustrated. But in Buddhism, we are taught to embrace acceptance instead of expectation. When we stop trying to control every outcome, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We learn to accept things as they are, not as we wish them to be. This doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement or growth. It means we let go of the need to have things go perfectly. Another key aspect of detachment from suffering is the idea of forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and anger toward others is one of the biggest sources of suffering. But when we forgive, we release the grip those negative emotions have on us. Forgiveness is not about excusing someone's behavior. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment. In Buddhism, forgiveness is seen as an act of compassion, not just toward others, but also toward ourselves. So, how do we apply all of this in our daily lives? It begins with the simple practice of awareness. By becoming aware of our emotional responses, we can begin to detach from them. When you feel anger rising, take a deep breath and notice it. Don't judge it or push it away, simply observe it. Let it pass like a wave in the ocean. When you feel sadness, instead of wallowing in it, acknowledge it and allow it to move through you. Over time, this practice becomes easier, and you begin to feel more at peace, no matter what emotions arise. In the end, detaching from suffering doesn't mean we stop feeling emotions. It means we stop allowing those emotions to control us. We learn to respond with wisdom and calmness, rather than reacting impulsively. And in doing so, we build mental strength, the strength to face whatever life throws our way without being consumed by it. Remember, detachment doesn't mean indifference or coldness. It means recognizing that emotions, like everything else, are fleeting. By letting go of our attachment to them, we gain freedom, peace, and the ability to live fully in the present moment. The power of meditation, cultivating inner resilience. Are you ready to discover a powerful tool that can completely change your life? It's something that can give you control over your mind, emotions, and reactions, no matter what's happening around you. It's something ancient, but incredibly relevant today: meditation. Meditation is often misunderstood, but in its simplest form, it's a practice of sitting quietly and focusing your mind. It sounds simple, right? But in reality, it's one of the most powerful practices in the Buddhist tradition. Why? Because meditation trains your mind to be strong, resilient, and calm, even in the most stressful situations. The truth is, your mind is like a garden. If you let it grow wild without care, it gets overrun with weeds, thoughts, distractions, stress, and worries. But meditation is like the gardener. It helps you cultivate a clear, peaceful space in your mind. It helps you trim away the unnecessary distractions and make space for what truly matters. When you meditate, you're not just sitting there doing nothing. You're actively shaping your mind. Every time you sit down to meditate, you're planting seeds for a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Imagine, just for a moment, what it would feel like to have a mind that's as clear and calm as a still pond. No matter what happens around you, stressful situations at work, difficult relationships, or unexpected challenges, you would be able to approach them with calm and clarity. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's what meditation can help you achieve. Now, let's look at how meditation builds mental resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations. It's about facing life's challenges with a sense of inner strength, not allowing yourself to get lost in negativity or stress. This is exactly what meditation does. It strengthens your mental resilience. When you meditate, you're training your mind to not react immediately to everything. Instead, you begin to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting swept up in them. For example, let's say you're stuck in traffic. Most people would immediately feel frustration and stress. But with regular meditation practice, you can start to notice that feeling of frustration without letting it take over. You can simply acknowledge it. I'm feeling frustrated right now, and then let it go. You don't let that feeling define your whole day. You have the power to respond instead of react. This is resilience. And it's not just about staying calm in difficult situations. Meditation also helps you become more aware of your inner state, so you can catch negative thoughts before they spiral out of control. Have you ever had one bad thought that led to a series of even worse thoughts? Maybe something like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm never going to succeed." When you meditate, you learn to recognize these negative thought patterns before they take over. You learn to replace them with positive, empowering thoughts. But meditation isn't just about handling stress or negative emotions. It also helps you tap into a deeper level of peace and contentment. Think about how often you feel restless or dissatisfied. There's always something to do, always something to fix, always something to worry about. Meditation helps you find peace in the present moment, letting go of the need to constantly chase after the next thing. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation isn't just about calming the mind. It's also about cultivating wisdom. When you meditate regularly, you begin to see the world more clearly. You develop insight into your true nature and the nature of reality. You start to understand that everything is interconnected. You begin to see that your thoughts, your actions, and even your emotions are all part of a larger flow. This awareness allows you to live with more intention and purpose. Here's a simple meditation you can try right now, wherever you are. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just focus on the feeling of your breath moving in and out of your body. If your mind starts to wander, that's okay. Just gently bring your focus back to your breath. You might not feel like you're doing much, but what you're doing is building the muscles of your mind. Each time you meditate, you're strengthening your ability to stay focused, calm, and present in your life. At first, you might find it challenging. Your mind will wander a lot. It's normal, but the key is to be patient and gentle with yourself. Meditation isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. The more you practice, the stronger your mind becomes. You begin to notice the difference. Small moments of peace throughout your day, the ability to stay calm in stressful situations, and a deeper sense of self-awareness. Meditation is also a powerful way to cultivate compassion. When you sit in stillness, you start to become more in tune with your emotions and the emotions of others. This sensitivity helps you develop empathy. You start to understand that everyone is going through their own struggles, and you begin to approach others with more kindness and patience. Meditation opens your heart and mind to the suffering of others, making you a more compassionate person. In the Buddhist tradition, there's a special type of meditation called loving-kindness meditation, or metta. In this practice, you silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be free from suffering," and then gradually extend those wishes to others, your loved ones, your friends, and even those you may not get along with. This practice softens the heart and helps you develop a deeper sense of compassion for everyone around you. So, meditation is not just about mental strength, it's about cultivating a loving, compassionate mind. It's about becoming more resilient, more aware, and more at peace with yourself and the world. As you continue your meditation practice, you'll notice that the strength you develop isn't just mental, it's emotional too. You begin to handle your feelings with more maturity. Instead of getting swept away by anger, frustration, or sadness, you learn to respond with understanding and patience. You become like a tree that bends with the wind but doesn't break. The more you practice meditation, the more you'll realize just how powerful it is. It's a tool that gives you control over your mind, your emotions, and your actions. It helps you grow stronger with each breath, building the foundation for a more peaceful and resilient life. So, make meditation a part of your daily routine. Start small, be patient with yourself, and soon you'll discover the incredible power that lies within your mind. Are you ready to take the first step toward building your mental resilience? The path is waiting for you, one breath at a time. Wisdom and perspective, seeing the world with clarity. What if you could see the world through a lens of clarity, free from confusion and distractions? Imagine approaching each situation with a deep understanding, a sense of wisdom that allows you to see beyond the surface and understand the deeper truths of life. Wouldn't that bring you peace? Wouldn't it make life easier to navigate? Wisdom is one of the greatest strengths we can cultivate. It's not just about knowledge or facts, it's about understanding how life works, how the mind works, and how everything around us is interconnected. In Buddhism, wisdom, or prajna, is a key element that helps us navigate the challenges of life. But how does one truly develop this kind of wisdom? How do we shift our perspective so that we can see things as they truly are? First, let's think about how we normally see the world. We often see things based on our own experiences, biases, and beliefs. We judge situations quickly, making snap decisions that can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, stress, and regret. Our minds are full of clutter, distractions, and emotions that cloud our judgment. We react impulsively, without truly understanding the full picture. This is the normal way of living for many of us. But is this the best way? Buddhism teaches us that wisdom comes when we stop reacting automatically and begin to observe the world with an open mind. It's about seeing things without the layers of our own assumptions or the emotional baggage we carry. Wisdom comes from the ability to pause, reflect, and understand the deeper truths of any situation. One of the most important Buddhist teachings on wisdom is the concept of emptiness. No, this doesn't mean that things don't exist, but rather that nothing exists in isolation. Everything is interconnected, everything is changing, and nothing stays the same forever. Understanding this truth can change the way you see the world. Once we realize that nothing is fixed and everything is constantly changing, we stop holding on so tightly to things, people, or even outcomes. We stop reacting out of fear or desire, and instead, we embrace the natural flow of life. But how does this help you in your everyday life? Think about moments when you feel frustrated or upset. Maybe it's a disagreement with someone, a stressful situation at work, or a challenging personal issue. What happens when we're caught up in those moments? Often, we can't see the situation clearly. We feel trapped in our emotions, and our judgment is clouded. But when we take a step back and allow wisdom to guide us, things start to shift. Instead of seeing things in black and white, we start to see the nuances, the gray areas. We realize that other people's actions are often influenced by their own struggles and fears, just as we are influenced by our own. Suddenly, we feel less judgmental and more understanding. This wisdom allows us to approach challenges with a sense of calm and clarity. We stop reacting out of anger, fear, or frustration, and instead, we act with compassion and understanding. We make decisions not from a place of ego or defensiveness, but from a place of peace and wisdom. And this doesn't just change how we respond to others, it changes how we view ourselves. We become less critical of ourselves and more accepting of who we are and where we are in our journey. But how do we practice developing this wisdom? It all comes down to mindfulness and self-awareness. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. We start to become aware of how we perceive the world and how those perceptions shape our actions. This awareness is the first step in developing wisdom. The more we practice mindfulness, the more we begin to see life for what it truly is, constantly changing, interconnected, and full of opportunities for growth. Another powerful Buddhist practice that helps develop wisdom is meditation. Through meditation, we learn to quiet the noise of the world and focus our attention inward. This stillness allows us to connect with the deeper truths of our own mind and the world around us. It's in these moments of deep silence that we can begin to see things clearly. We can start to understand our thoughts and emotions and how they influence our behavior. We can recognize patterns of thought that lead to suffering, and with this awareness, we can choose to let them go. In addition to mindfulness and meditation, another important aspect of cultivating wisdom is studying the teachings of Buddhism. The Buddhist teachings provide us with a roadmap for understanding life. They guide us towards seeing things as they truly are, not as we want them to be. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is ignorance, the inability to see things clearly. By studying his teachings and reflecting on them, we can begin to see through the illusion of the self, the ego, and the things we hold on to so tightly. We can start to understand that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around us, but from seeing it as it truly is, impermanent, interconnected, and ever-changing. The power of wisdom is that it allows us to approach life with a sense of peace and acceptance. When we have wisdom, we understand that things don't always go the way we want them to, but that's okay. We can accept the challenges that come our way because we know they are part of the natural flow of life. We know that nothing is permanent and that difficult moments will pass. With this perspective, we can move through life with grace and ease, rather than fighting against it. Imagine how different your life would be if you could see the world with this kind of clarity. What if you could respond to challenges with a sense of peace instead of stress? What if you could make decisions not based on fear or impulse, but based on deep wisdom and understanding? This is the power of developing a wise perspective, and it's something you can start working on today. So, how do you begin to see the world with greater wisdom? Start by practicing mindfulness, meditation, and study. Become more aware of your thoughts, reactions, and the stories you tell yourself about the world. Challenge your assumptions and open your mind to new perspectives. And remember, this is a journey. It won't happen overnight. But with patience, dedication, and practice, you'll begin to see the world in a whole new way. Through the lens of wisdom, everything changes. You begin to understand life not as a series of problems to solve, but as an ongoing flow of experiences to learn from. You start to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and see people and situations with compassion instead of judgment. The world may not change, but your perspective on it will. And that is the true power of wisdom. So, what will you choose to see today? How will you see the world differently tomorrow? In the end, wisdom isn't just about knowing facts or acquiring knowledge. It's about seeing things as they truly are, understanding the impermanence of life, and learning to respond with clarity, compassion, and peace. This perspective is what gives us strength, resilience, and a deep sense of mental clarity. And that, my friend, is the essence of mental strength in the Buddhist way. Conclusion: the path to unshakable strength. Congratulations! You've reached the end of this transformative journey into the world of Buddhist wisdom. But wait, this isn't the end. It's only the beginning. Now that you've learned the 6 Buddhist secrets to becoming mentally strong, the real work begins. These teachings are not just for you to think about, but for you to put into practice in your everyday life. So, how are you feeling right now? More calm, focused, and resilient? Or maybe you're wondering, how do I actually apply all these principles in my day-to-day life? Well, it's okay if you're still unsure. Change takes time, and the path to mental strength is a lifelong journey. The key is to take one step at a time, and with each step, you'll get closer to mastering the art of inner peace, self-discipline, and emotional resilience. The Buddhist teachings aren't just abstract ideas. They are practical tools that, when practiced consistently, can transform the way you approach life. Whether it's mindfulness helping you stay present, letting go of attachments that weigh you down, or cultivating compassion for yourself and others, each secret serves as a powerful foundation for building unshakable mental strength. With every small effort, you will start to feel stronger, more balanced, and more at peace. Trust in the process, and know that each day is a chance to grow. Now, remember this. It's not about being perfect. In fact, Buddhism teaches that perfection is an illusion. It's about progress, not perfection. Each time you fall or make a mistake, it's simply an opportunity to learn and grow. Life will challenge you, and at times it may feel like everything is falling apart. But by applying the Buddhist secrets you've learned, you can rise above those challenges. You'll find yourself becoming more resilient, more aware, and more equipped to handle whatever comes your way. So, how do you move forward now? Well, start by practicing mindfulness in your everyday moments. Whether you're washing dishes, walking to work, or simply sitting with your thoughts, practice being fully present. Be gentle with yourself as you practice letting go of attachments. Remember, it's okay to release things that no longer serve you. Life is about change, and letting go is part of that change. Try to show more kindness to yourself and others, as compassion is a powerful tool for strengthening your mind and heart. These small changes will begin to accumulate, and before you know it, you'll notice a shift in how you respond to life's ups and downs. But it's not just about these individual practices. The Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of perspective. If you can begin to see the world through the lens of wisdom and understanding, everything starts to change. You'll no longer be bogged down by your own emotions or overwhelmed by the chaos around you. Instead, you'll respond with clarity, compassion, and strength. You'll find peace, even in the most turbulent moments. And remember, the middle way is always there for you. Life doesn't have to be all extremes. It's about balance. Whether it's work, relationships, or personal growth, seek that middle ground. Balance your desires with your responsibilities, your need for rest with your need for action, and your moments of solitude with your moments of connection. By walking this middle path, you create a stable foundation for mental strength to grow. As you go about your day, keep practicing these teachings. Make them a part of who you are, and don't be discouraged by setbacks or moments of doubt. Just like the lotus flower that blooms in muddy waters, your mental strength will grow and flourish even through difficulties. You are capable of becoming the calm in the storm, the resilient force that faces life's challenges with grace and strength. Remember, this journey is yours, and you're not alone. The path of Buddhism offers wisdom that has been guiding people for thousands of years. When you feel lost or uncertain, come back to the principles that have been shared with you here today. Let them guide you, inspire you, and give you the strength you need to carry on. As we wrap up this video, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on what you've learned. Which of the 6 Buddhist secrets spoke to you the most? Which one do you think will make the biggest difference in your life? Take a deep breath and remember, mental strength is a process. Be patient with yourself and take it one day at a time. Finally, I want to thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. It has been a true honor to share these teachings with you. If you feel that this video has helped you or inspired you in any way, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Wisdom Woven. There are so many people watching, but only a small percentage actually subscribe. We'd love for you to be a part of our community. So, please, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear how these Buddhist secrets are helping you become mentally stronger. Stay strong, stay balanced, and keep walking your path toward inner peace. And remember, as the Buddha once said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Stay well, my friend, and may peace and strength guide you always.